I put some little images of what our public is doing with us. I think one of the main things of theatre for very young children or for young children is that artists are more concerned or should be more concerned on the public. Normally artists, they make things for themselves, or they try to think that it's good for their public, but they never see their public before premiere. Or sometimes they do, in rehearsals at some moments. We work for many years now for the very young ones, and there is one thing that I learned: I cannot make performances without them. So in that way, we developed also a lot of kind of installation work, where we invite a public in to come and play. It's like a bigger playground, and then I invite artists to come and play. So these people, like the cellist, he never worked for babies before, and he comes and plays and he improvises in this kind of work, and we sell it. So it's also nice because it's a mutual economic system in the way that the organizer can pay something for it, for his festival, the public is paying something, and we are paying also some of our artists, because it's always 4 or 5 artists in this kind of installation work. They can work together. And the artists are paid to have experiences, to exercise, to see what is their connection with the public. Because this is also something else, I think, which is interesting for theatre for very young ones. That, and of course, I know that in a lot of countries there are structures and hierarchy of people. I mean, you have the director, you have the designer, you have the dancer, you have the actor. So the actor is not writing a play, or the actor is not thinking about the lighting. But I think in this kind of theater, it's quite important that everybody who is on stage, who is connecting or is connecting with the public, they should do it in a passionate way, in an authentic way. It's not just a job. You cannot fake. I always say you can play with them. It's what we do, in a way. We try to connect, but you cannot fake. If you fake, they are very keen on that. They turn around and they go away. So this is also quite interesting. I will show you just maybe something else for the moment. Yeah, I'm a little bit chaotic in how I treat my computer, but yeah, let me find that. This is, let's say, a teaser or a trailer of one of our latest productions we made. It's an opera. It's really an opera. It's called Runny Nose, and it's about a nose and eyes and ears, and it's using all kind of media in it. And as you see, we can play it also in kindergartens. We don't need really the stage.
Before you start traveling, oh, nose may bore you, love you and more you.
So it's
sometimes
a nose is sometimes Mom is a baby, then she'll tie you to her apron string. She'll shame you and she'll blame you till another comes to claim you. 'Cause a nose is sometimes
So yes, so this is one of our latest creations, and I must say Katrina saw it with me as performing it, because the singer lady, she has a baby, and the baby was very ill and so on and so on, but okay. Just also to mention that, that in a way, all kind of subjects or all kind of ideas are possible. I never say this is not possible for very young ones. And this is maybe opposite what we think about it. Sometimes we think this is not suitable for them. This is not, I would like to make a show which is horror for babies. I don't know if it's...
What age is that again?
0 till 3.
Till 3, yeah.
Because we are going with that into the kindergartens. So we have some sessions with babies from 6 months. Sometimes, and then we have other sessions which are a little bit older, and of course it goes up to 4 years, because this is also a good question, because when you make something, you're not always aware of what is the age, for which age it's not fixed, and of course you have to try it out. You have to see how far you can go or not you can go. So it's always also this kind of, I always try to make it possible for a bigger range, but it's not always suitable. So some, of course, this one is, let's say in the preschool and school also possible. So let's say the 3 years old, 4 years old, even 5 years old, it's possible. Of course, but this is also one of the main issues. It has to be multi-layered. It has to be suitable for everybody, because one of the big mistakes we made in the beginning of our, I'm going back to '92 when we made our first show for the very young ones. We didn't take care of the parents. Or the adults. We were only thinking about, the children are in the middle of our thing, and we will turn around it, and then we noticed that the parent takes 5 times the space of the child. So this was also, so you have to be multi-layered. And I think this is also one of the things, even when they are older, there are always adults with them. They never come alone. They don't choose the performance. It's somebody else who chooses for you to come to the performance. And
if you sorry, sorry.
No, okay.
And what about the kindergarten?
Yes.
There's no parents there, no?
No, but there are carers.
Yeah.
And it's also the carers are very important, because they are always in a kind of relationship. And this is also something which I think it's interesting about public. And this is also something to think about as an artist when you make something for very young or for everybody. It's thinking about that people are in a context there. They are in a situation, and they bring their own situation with them. So I even would say, I'm not deciding when the story is starting, when the show is starting and finishing. The public is doing that. Because in a way, I think this is the most important thing about theater. It's to connect with the public, with a live public, and not just making a film or something like that, which can be another quality, and of course there is also connection, but it's a different kind of connection. And this live thing is connecting to the very young ones, but also to older people, which means you have to get these people, these adults, in another kind of atmosphere than they come in, because they come in as carers, as parents. They are fragile, thinking, what is my child going to do? Is he behaving very well or not? These are a lot of things we have to take care of. And let's say it takes 10 minutes, at least 10 minutes or 12 or 15 minutes before the parent leaves all that and can go to the next thing, to be a public himself or herself. And when he starts, when the parent or the adult starts to be a real spectator, then the child is going with him. Because of course this is another, I think, important thing that we are going to work a little bit on that. I always work, or I see in performances that we can go from the concrete thing, let's say a story or things we know or things we experienced already, to something which is beyond, to something which is abstract. I call it abstraction, but it's not really abstraction. It can be fantasy, it can be poetical, it can be to something we don't know. And I think this is also something which is quite interesting with this young public. I never say small public, but young public, that I mean, they are humans. It's not about learning them something. It's just about giving them the opportunity to experience new things. And of course, a child of 1 year has half the experience of a child of 2 years. And a child of 10 years has half the experience of a person of 20 years. But it's not even like that. It's getting more and more. But in that way, the child of 1 year has already a lot of experience, has a brain, has a heritage, has a rucksack, a backpack of parents, of ancestors. So it's not a white paper you can fill in. You can give it the opportunity to fill themselves more and more in, and to give them, nourishing them with new things. But that's the same with adults, I think, because we are all coming from very different parts. We have all different kind of mentalities and cultures. So in that way, how to manage these cultures and these differences and to bring them together. And this is something I think is really very particular. When we are sitting 100 people in a room watching the same football game or show or film, we are thinking, oh, we are looking to the same thing. And in fact, we have seen 100 different things. And that is an interesting thing with the very young ones, that you can see that you can observe that they are going to very different sensorial things. I asked to bring an object with you, which is a little bit personal. We are going to do a kind of exercise on it, so don't tell it now. You just take your object and you try to make a little situation out of it that you can tell us without words, without explaining, but just to make a little situation wherein you can show this object to us, and we will try to observe and to define what kind of connection you have with this object. Yes? I don't know if it's a little bit clear. So in a way, if we go to dramatic things, to make things, let's say we have 3 big steps. In traditional Greek theater, it's 5 steps, but we can go to 3 steps. The one thing is you present the object, you show it in a way. You show yourself in that way. And then the object is meeting you. That's the second step. You have a relation with it. There is something happening between you and the object, which is the climax. And then the third thing, the last thing is, okay, you separate or you don't separate, but you changed, or the objects changed. in what it was. You break it down, or I don't know what you do with it. But this is, let's say, 3 of the dramatical steps you can give and can show us. And I think in that way, the clearer it is, the clearer we can define something out of it. So I give you, let's say, 5 minutes, just now to think what you could do with your object and to show us, and then we will try to be a nice public for you. Okay? So, yes, take some time to think about it. What should we do?
So I come to the camera just asking that if it's okay, that those, when I turn the camera, that it's okay that you will be on the film. If you don't like it, then we don't film you. So if the camera turns to you, it means to those who are following this video that you have been okay that your play will be shown as an example. Thank you.
We will post it on our virtual house.
Yes, it will be on the virtual house.
Who wants to present something on it? And then we just watch it, and you don't.
I can go?
Yes.
We're going?
No, go ahead.
And it's okay?
Okay. Thank you. So, could we see the 3 steps we are talking about? Yes. And what did occur to you? Every answer is right. It's not about judging, or it's not about. It's just looking to the situation and to see what is happening. So what did we see first? The first thing was we saw you and
Object. Object. We saw an object.
An object. And could you define it already for you? What it
For me,
was?
it was interesting to see something that is not so obvious for me to acknowledge what it is. So it was interesting for me to watch what she's doing, to see what is it for, or what is it for her, and that was interesting for me.
Okay. Somebody else on it?
I feel like I knew what it was, but then the way she started to play with it made me go, like, expand what I thought it was.
Okay. Yeah. Something else? No. We go to step 2. What happened then?
She unravelled it
Yeah.
and put it on Harriet's.
Before that, I really liked the view from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very interesting. And
Did she know what it was?
I was thinking actually about that. That it, like she was like, I don't know what do I use this for, but it's interesting, so I will just like explore it, and then she find it out.
She did something else with it also. What?
Yeah,
She got the spirit.
The
It
smell.
was the smell.
Okay.
And then
Okay. And then finally she put it on their ears. So, and in this step 2, because the end of the step 2 is then step 3, what happened then? It's a little bit what you said already, I think.
You,
The third step was the changement? No, I mean...
on and that she was wearing, put it on.
the last image was what you said.
But then she
Yeah, yeah.
refashioned it to a new place.
Yes, but in between, what was really the turning point of the final point of what happened? She listened to it, and
It was music.
yeah,
Actually, I thought like she doesn't. There is no music, but suddenly somehow she imagines the music and hears it. And I feel I found like it was like it doesn't give me music, but I imagine it.
okay, yeah.
What I also like in the process of my watching is the moment when I saw something that she didn't show. I mean, she wasn't in that image, but I saw something else also. And what I would like just to share that moment when I realized that, I like to give that to the audience to have their own interpretation of those moments when you have something that is a little bit like abstract thing, you don't know what to, when you play with it, and children very often say what they see. For example, I don't know, if I change those images, then they start to say something to guess. And this moment it was so great because I saw, you inspired me to see something new, maybe that you didn't want to show, and I liked the moment with the music because I wanted to hear your music, and you didn't give me any particular rhythm, you know, to feel what kind of music it is.
So you could feel it in.
But I feel it in my ears.
Exactly.
What I would
Yeah. So what's also very nice to see is that this simple object gives so many emotions also in relationship with you as a human. I mean, you give the emotion to the object, of course, and the object gives it to you. But this is how I think a lot of very young spectators see shows. They are not aware or taking care of really the story. They are just watching and connecting by the emotion. Which emotion gives me this material? And I think this is for me it's a very important thing, because I think material is a very own speaking thing. We are filled, the world is filled of objects and materials, and they are talking to us in a way. They are equal for me as humans. I'm not provoking robots and so on, but I'm just saying that it's so here in our, I mean, when I walk here in the city, I see so many cars. For instance, these cars give me an impression of the city. Although everybody thinks, oh, it's just a parking lot. So is the city a parking lot, or is the city a place to live in? This is my questioning then, because I feel this is the emotion I get. For me, it's personal. I'm not judging. I'm just seeing what I feel, and this is giving me the story of the city, in a way. For instance. Okay, somebody else who wants to? I know it takes some time, but it's. I think it's important to see.
Can I start?
Thank you. Yes, very nice. Okay, maybe just short again the 3 steps. What did you see with the first step?
Okay.
He was really presenting it. Huh? See, this is what I have. It's nice. Okay. In the second step, what happened? Huh? What is happening?
He played with it like he used to maybe, so I saw the emotional
Coming
maybe
back. Yeah.
memory,
Yeah.
you know, and his way, but at the same time he's bigger now maybe from when he was playing with it.
Yeah.
So he's trying to fit it in his life at the moment, and you know, until he let it go. It's almost like letting go of the
Yeah, that's
toy.
the third step. Yeah. Somebody else to add something or did see something else? It's possible, huh? No?
I see when he showed us what is it anyway?
Batmobile.
The Batmobile.
Batmobile. Okay. So it's like something that I've never had, this boy toy, you know. It's always like when I see boy toys, not just me, but as a mother, you know, when my daughter was little, and then when you go to our friends with boys, you know, and I have only daughter, it was like always, she was like, wow. It's so massive and it's so... So it was interesting for me to see, and I can imagine that this was your toy, yeah. Yeah.
It is.
I like this transformation at the end. What I was very vulnerable is when one of the parts get it was like, oh my god, why did he do it? Yeah. Did you do it on purpose or it happened?
It happened, but it happens. It's normal.
Yeah.
It can be. I put it back. It's everything.
What I can also felt is that that toy for that guy is not something that he will, you know, like having and think that is so precious, because he has his own imagination and he feels very strong when he does it by himself. So this stuff is here, he likes it because it's his, but it's not something that he needs all the time in the play. In the play maybe.
No.
But I felt very like I never would make it with my toy, something like that.
No.
Yeah, that's something that also came to my... Yeah.
All right. Somebody else
I
wants
loved
to...
his joy when he sat in the chair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He imagined
Yeah.
a much better
Yeah.
toy.
But I think it was very nice to see that in a way it stayed very concrete on certain moments, and then finally he found a way to get out of it for himself. So he was really stuck also with the reality of the thing. And I think this is also something that certainly today children have more and more troubles in the way to get out of the concrete things they get all the time, all these things which are ready-made, you can't do a thing with it, and then to escape from that.
To let it go.
Yeah, and of course, which happened even more now is the virtuality, which is coming on top of that, and giving us the impression that we can fantasize even more. But the fantasy is in there. It's not in here. Maybe, I don't know. So this is what we did with the running nose, to question that, to criticize also that. Why should we? Because we went with that to France, and in France it's not allowed to go in crashes with the screens. They say this is not good for the children because it's not good for their health and so on, which I can believe. But on the contrary, we are confronting the daycares, because the daycares use them all the time. So, and the parents use them all the time. So we just try to confront that and question that. So, and this is also something which is interesting to see that.
Child protection as well.
Yeah.
Even though completely obsessed with
Yeah, I know that
child
as well.
Yeah.
Part of
Yeah.
the-
And also, I mean, it's with every new toy or tool. When we start to ride or start to drive, it can be dangerous, but we can use it very well also. So it's also about if you stay on the control of it, like we do. We take the pictures, but we use them really, and not just let us used by the picture, which is the shopping thing and you have a message, which is only commercial. So this is I think this could be interesting. Okay, somebody else now. We can just.
Is it okay?
Okay.
Nice.
So what did we see? I'm coming back each time to what did we observe, because it's interesting to know. Children, they can't give you this feedback, but we can give you that in a way. And but anyway, it's the way how a spectator looks at things, which he doesn't know from the beginning, or didn't read it, or didn't know the story. And even then, yeah.
We saw the closed hands, so we're excited to wonder what's inside the closed hands. And then she revealed it.
So, yeah.
Sorry, for me the presentation was like, I'm presenting it to you, but it's not easy for me, but I choose that I want to present you, but it's a privilege, I don't show this to everybody, but I can show it to you, and I already found like some connection with.
Okay. Yes. Somebody else?
Yeah, because it was like a very positive emotion, so it seems like there's something very precious, but because of the body language, it's also something which is secret.
It's the both of them. It's a nice balancing between. But it started really already with an emotion, even before showing the real thing, which makes it connect us quite quick to what is going to happen. And then what happened? Well, because we were talking about it's precious, it's something she didn't want to, and then opening up.
Yeah, showing us.
Yeah, and what was this thing she did with there and there? It was a part we saw, no?
Yeah.
Okay. So
picked the star from the sky.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Probably.
I had the feeling,
Probably.
Yeah, I don't know.
I had the feeling that the star was showing her where to go and what to do, like being connected with the star and doing the movement that came from the star, from the look, the shape, and it gave her the movement.
Okay. And then she put it behind.
Yeah, that was very interesting.
Yes.
I think so a sense of insecurity there, you know, like do I do it or don't do it? Do I do it? Do I don't do it? It's like, but in a playful way, not in a heavy way. In a playful way, like almost like she knows she was surrounded by really young kids that would enjoy that part. You know, like I see that she knew she would make them have fun, you know, and entertain them in doing that. You know, it's something that you do with a really young kid. You know, like this, you know, some little moments.
And then the finally thing, she shared it with you.
Shared it, gave it.
So it was nice that you said before that. Is it something from her or not? Is it something that she has to share or not? Or is it in my possession, or is it something I can give to somebody else and I just can share it? I just have the emotion to it because it's not from me. For me, it's not only for me. It's maybe that's maybe what I felt. I don't know. Yeah.
So the attachment was before then. She
feel comfortable to
She's a good thing to
feel comfortable to give to someone, to share the secret, to share, like it's so special for me, but I want to, now it's gonna be special for you too.
You to have this.
Like a young child wouldn't do that. You know, when you received it, you're like, no, take it back.
Yes.
And then when you say, no, you can keep it, you're like,
maybe.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say. You have to observe it. You have to try it out. But a lot of they maybe would give it back, or they would get it.
They just don't come.
They would take it and then parents would like, give it back.
Give it back. Yes. Yeah, exactly.
And I also think that it's not the matter in the object, but in the way you are giving somebody something yours. It doesn't have to be valuable in kind of something expensive. No. But the way you giving somebody something yours, I see in yourself like, oh my God, this is for me.
Yes, and I feel special too.
You also felt special, yes. And I think that it is great to give that to audience, young audience, that feeling of.
Yeah. So, but anyway, as an artist, this object provokes it to share it and to do it like this. So, and of course, for us, it could be not of importance in the way that you buy it in a shop or you find it on the seaside or not. But it's the artist who makes it, you transform it into something which is very precious for him, and to share it with the public.
Yeah.
And I think this is the transformation we make in theater out of it, to be this common object. I can do this with my chair also if I would. It's like you said, but at the same moment, it's that which provokes me to me. I wouldn't do that with this because I see that there are 20 chairs like this. So maybe it would be much more difficult to give this understanding to the public. While this is something, we don't find in the space now, but it provokes it. So.
But I think that this is something that the small children, if you watch them, they often come and something around. That is something that's very familiar to the small children, and this is something.
Yeah, and to have something to have something.
So it was really you touched the moment. Really touched.
Exactly. Thank you. So somebody else still?
Yes, I have one.
Yeah. Sweet.
You don't have to.
And can you go to performances?
Yes, yes, we're going to film around.
And you
Yes.
come tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. All right, yeah. Okay, yes, I think this was the steps. I think it was, yeah, if you can...
Pretty clear, yeah.
Pretty clear, yeah.
Yeah, like she was showing the clock like to us. You know, an object from daily life, you know, with some emotion. But yeah, and then it was for, but yeah, I like to, you know, just watching her watch like normal, and then she noticed that something was wrong. You know, it was
Okay. And then it came to something else, and it became a total different world.
Yeah, I love that part really much.
Which is nice.
Apart from them trying to revive it, you know, and in her own way. But yeah, when as soon as she put it on the mouth, I was like, what's happening there? what's you know, that was like a mind blowing for me, you know, like for me adult, adult.
Yeah, and still it came back to the idea. That idea. That was very nice. I think.
Yeah, so it was still. It's almost like the watch became, you know those the Bell and Beast, you know, like when the object become alive, you know, the clock. I had a bit of that, you know. It became almost a full clock to me. I could see that.
Great. Something else to add?
I found myself worried you're going to be late for something.
Okay.
So I had to keep pulling myself back. No, that's not what's happened. Like she's like this clock is turning, like, means more to her than just like that time.
Yeah.
So but I had to check myself because I was like, but when is she going to be late?
That's our brain.
It totally caused like a different emotion for me.
Exactly.
I think it was very surreal with the smile of the watch.
Okay.
For me, I think the first part was very clear, like the attitude towards the clock, that she was super proud of it, like how she displayed it. So you could see from the posture that, yeah, this is my clock. This was a very clear sense.
I like that. I had the feeling that the second part the clock, the watch was moving her, and then it changed, then she started moving the clock and gave the life to it.
So this is also interesting and certainly in let's say manipulation or puppetry or manipulation of objects, that it can change all the time, and and this is maybe something different from the acting point. Normally an actor works on one role, or sometimes of course because of economics we have to play several roles, but most of the time we try to be in that one role, and it's evaluating in that, while getting from an acting point to manipulating something, it seems very split and very abstract, and it seems not possible, and it's possible all the time if it's well done, and if we can follow, let's see, if we can focus on what's happening with the watch then, or with the object, and so where our focus is as an artist, we can get the focus there, because this is also something which is, I think, very particular if we look to this kind of performances for younger people, that a lot of adults think often that it's quite chaotic what's happening, or they don't understand. They say, could you explain me later on, because I don't understand what's happening, while a child is much easier in going to something which is interesting for him or her, and focuses on it. And then the rest is gone, is away, is not so important. We try. I'm always talking about looking in two different ways. We are trying to look the whole. We are trying to control everything. To know that there is some murmuring, and we know that there are people there, that there is a television, and that you are sitting there. A child is much more looking in the moment. It's much more looking like this. So when I'm addressing to you, I'm looking to you, and I forget all the rest here. And then suddenly I go to there, because I hear something, and I forgot you. And then I'm coming back, you're back. So in the way of the dramatical point of view, it's not really necessary to give this evolution of what did you do in the meanwhile. It's not so important. It becomes important later on, when the experience is much more, this person is gone, what has happened? And then he comes back, and what did he do? But when they are quite young, they are much more into the focus on that moment, and they take the focus. You only can help them try to take the focus, but they take the focus. So I have a very nice example of our first performance we ever did. It was called The Red Dragon, and it was with children around us, and it was around the horizon, and we were at the final thing is the Red Dragon is coming out of a mountain with fire and and a red light, and I have two children next to me. I'm coming with the dragon out of it, and I think, oh yes, it's coming. They were looking at the side. And no, they were discussing, and the one said it's green. And the other one said, it's blue. It's green, it's blue. No, this is red, I thought. What is happening? But then I saw, they were sitting here, and I saw that there was a spotlight. At that moment, it came up, and it was a peacock filter, which is bluish, greenish, and they were discussing that. So they were not focusing on my dragon, which was the main thing of the play. But finally, when I got on with the dragon, then suddenly they saw the dragon and they were really impressed by the dragon. But just to tell you that we cannot really just say you have to watch this. And this is also something which is very different, because we are thinking as adults, we are trying to do that all the time. To say, okay, we focus there, or we are, while a child is taking out something for him, which is important, and makes his own story with that. I also have another example which was very interesting too. It was, I say, my first ZAP performance, because it was about the letters of the alphabet, and we had a poet who wrote, who made characters of each letter. And I made 26 little houses, and I made 26 puppets, which were these characters, and I played with that. It was called A Street Without an End, because it's about making sentences with all the letters. This was the idea. And it was nice, and I first worked with a director from television, and we took out some personages, some figures to develop a story. To say, okay, this character and he's evaluating like this and this and this, and it didn't work out because it was such a pity. I made 26 puppets, and, you know, and we only could do in 1 hour something with 5 or 6 of them, also, and it was always the same, and it was not. And in a certain tryout, because we always try out a lot of times, I noticed that. At some point, I opened one of the houses, and it's Valentine. It was little Valentine V, and she was a little girl with a tutu and thing like that. And I made a kind of puppet who was a turning puppet, like a music box. So I opened that, and she just wanted to go out, and she said, "No, I'm not going to walk out because it's too filthy on the floor." Up, back in, and afterwards we talked with the children, and for them. This was the most important personage from the whole show. So then I realized, okay, and that's why I'm calling it a ZAP performance, because each performance I could choose out of the 26 characters to do something, and to do something which was. And not to go to giving these puppets the character of an actor who is developing. The development went from one character to another even. And that was quite interesting to see that the dramaturgy of the material, or the dramaturgy to tell a story, is not necessarily an actor's dramaturgy or a text dramaturgy. It's much more on what a public can perceive. And of course we always say, yeah, the young ones, they don't understand. They understand a lot more than we think. And if they can focus to something and they connect to something else, they make their own stories. It's like when a child has made a drawing and you ask what is it, they tell you a whole story about it. And it's our 5 lines. But it's just for them making their fantasy concrete on something. So we give them, in a way, this concrete thing, and they can go into abstraction with it, or from the abstraction to the concrete again. You see? And I think this is also very important to when you want to make something for them. It's like you said before already, to give also the space. And not to like the music you showed. It can be any music, but anyway, the emotion on the music was important. To say, okay, this is my right music, and it's then another music for you, and another music for you, and another music for you.
And
but
for me, it was even not music. I thought it was like thoughts or words.
Yeah. But no problem. No. But every.
I was expecting music, but then the object was talking to me.
Yeah. But that's and of course you cannot really tell everything you wanted to tell, or you tell even more than you wanted to tell. So that's also the nice thing, that you see that the perception of what the audience sees is sometimes very much further away and much more interesting than. I always say in all these years we work on this kind of performances, intuitively I start with something. I don't know where I'm going to. it depends also on the artists I work with and what they want and what they bring into that. And in the process, I start, maybe this is what I wanted to tell. I don't know. And then certainly after a lot of performance, then I say, okay, yeah, this is exactly what we wanted to tell. And this seems very, but this is also, I think, life in a way. Instead of doing this is correctly, we have to do it like this and step and step and step. And of course, I know that a lot of structures where you're working or where you are working with are not keen on that because they cannot control it, or they cannot give the budget, or they cannot understand that an actor has also the ideas to scenography or to. I mean, I had to make a performance with people from Munich, and they wanted to make something on the light, on light as a theme, as a thema for the performance. And but the light designer came only 1 week before premiere. How is it possible? But that's the institution, how it works, and in that way, I provoke to be much more free, to hope to start, and not to be prepared all the time, because it changes all the time, and the focus also of the public is so important to know, or to observe and to see how they could cope with it.
Stefan,
Yeah.
can I present my answer?
Yes, of course. Please do.
Sopa, tėtis ir mama, ir katytė murzina. Pupa, kas ta pupa sopa? Sopa, tėtis ir mama, ir katytė murzina.
Yes, the steps, what did we see?
It's a round yellow
Yeah.
ball.
And she had already a connection with it, It was something from her,
Yeah.
Then she was into share, maybe, or play.
Yeah.
So there was his part
Yeah.
of presenting it properly. Here, presenting it to you, touch it, straight back to me. Yeah, it was an interactive presentation, proposition.
And then?
Then when she dropped it cracked from that moment. It was a dramatic moment there.
Yes, it was the end of step 2.
And that's when they started to unravel the object and start to almost take life, become alive.
And the singing. The singing.
Yes, very important. Yeah.
It came with so much beautiful emotion. And the connection of the singing to the
object.
And how it opened.
And also in those socks, it's our traditional thing, and I think many cultures have that. When you have those socks that somebody made for you, and it was something that put me in my context, cultural context, like, oh, maybe this is her grandmother, it's something that is connected with maybe lullaby or whatever. I can make a context of what you've done to my world of experience and inspiration. I like it. And when she stood on those socks, it was like, oh, they're so warm, and there is some like some groundness,
There's so much. So I think it's really important for that age children to find this moment of groundedness for the parents. In that moment, the parents would also like, I see that in the show.
But everybody will be.
Also, it's very beautiful, the purple and the yellow.
Yes, true. Yeah. But it's true. It's this reminiscence to culture, to the past, to what we inherited it, and so we always say the young people are older than us because they are a generation behind us. They have already the experience of us with them, so it goes on, and it's really this kind of time also. We are going into time, and we are telling things everybody can understand. This is, like you say, it's cultural, but at the same way, I think everybody in the world can understand it, because these are things we have in common. Like also the getting around in the circle on a bonfire. It's also something we have in common. Or screaming out in a big space, because the space gives us the space to shout. These are things we if we touch that, if we use that, everybody, each generation can take that in as a spectator. So yes, it's nice to enter that because it's really connecting not only to the concrete thing, not only to the imagination, but at the same time also to our pasts or our connection to culture, or our being humans together. And I think this is also interesting to tell through that emotions and through that ideas.
When I think about theatre for children, when we talk about objects in the theatre, for me, as an artist, object gives me very often that broader space for a dialogue with the audience. Because if I play with it, and I have my performance, but if I play with the object in front of the audience, this is always a new moment where something changed very often in my world of performance I've made. It gives me opportunity to make changes, to put more layers to it, and it's very interesting how playing with object, like for example your piece was. I mean, it gives you so many layers that you can, as an audience, then give back to the artist with your, I don't know, emotion, with maybe some comment, if you children like to. For me, it's if children are already audible, it's interesting how they want to communicate with the artist. And they're not like adults, they're sitting and watching, and they like to say something in there.
or to
Or to show, yeah. So the dialogue with the young audience is very intense, and I really enjoy it. It's very exciting to me as an artist to make performances for children.
And I think adult theater can learn a lot out of that.
Of course, definitely.
Or musicians, or dancers, or all kind of art, or even museums. They can learn out of that.
What happened to me, for example, in my actor's life, is that for 10 years I was just in the theater for children, because I didn't want to play for adults, because I have my life situation. I have a little child, and I didn't want to go to the theater now in the evening to play. So that was my decision. And then when I come back to the theater for adults, for me, I was so I was surprised with myself, because I learned so much in the theater for children, during all those years. And then when you start performing for adults, you see, wow, thank you, because I really learned a lot that I didn't know before. Here in our Balkan space, the academies are very similar, and we don't have in drama apartments. There are no space for children theater, and this is really, really very bad condition. Now in ex-Yugoslavia there is only Osijek, is in Croatia, that has a puppetry department. But I finished the academy. I didn't do any theater for children, and then you start exploring it after your education, and then you see the whole new world. And it's very interesting to experience it.
Okay, we have to round up, I think.
She still hasn't presented.
Sorry.
I got before and
then you.
I need to go, sorry, I could not see
You have to.
yours.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
I'll see you at the next show.
Yes. Okay.
You want your tickets?
You have your tickets?
Or
Yes, I have my tickets.
Okay.
One, I don't know.
I'm so sorry.
I didn't manage to buy, to book one of the shows. Maybe trouble.
Also talk more.
I give you this over the weekend. It was the purpose.
Only one, yes.
You want to? You want to give it to somebody else? Maybe after. Okay, go. Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
Oh, I want the camera only, please.
The camera. You want the camera?
No, or not.
Yeah.
Of course.
Sorry, Gina. Okay. What about the steps?
I think they were very clear.
Yes. When was step 3? If they were very clear.
For me, it was for me the step 2 was like trying to find a way, and the step 3 was like I found the way to it. And I actually felt that I don't know if was it that, but I found that she felt either like judged when trying some different things, or that she didn't want to offend the ones who gave her that, and but constantly giving back some like feedback, like no, that's not how you do it, and constantly someone saying her that it's bad, and then when she found a way, I think like, whew, okay. So for me that was what changed. Like she found the way.
Yes. Somebody else?
I really felt like it was a gift that she was just trying to make work, but there was,
a lot of emotion, eh?
That she really wanted this work.
And relief when she found the way that it works.
Yes.
For me, I really enjoyed the whole process, and that this thank you only came at the end. So it kind of gives a relation to everyday situations. What do you do when you get the gift? That you don't want or don't know how to.
In fact, in the beginning, I was thinking that you just found it and you thought that it's very precious, and you try to find out how it works on you. But then when you said thanks, no.
But it's good that you say that, Gina, because of course it's always we try to define something and to tell something, and then how are we going to tell it, and how can we be so transparent that it's coming over, and in this way this is it's just a nice feedback to give you the idea. I should have, but it's not necessary. It could also tell, because it always tells something different. It's not always exactly what you want to tell. Of course not, because we even when we explain it, or even when we it can be interpreted very differently. So it's I think it's difficult to accept that people don't understand everything what you want to say, but at the meantime you can feel that, let's say, the main thing, the main emotion and the main situation is there. I think I hope that's correct for you. Yes. And of course this kind of exercise is interesting, because then you can repeat it and you can say, okay, I do it again, but I can be maybe a little bit clearer or longer in this. I can show it in another way. It's also about let's say balancing the whole thing, and it's sometimes about giving the right emotion.
I wanted the children to feel upset for me that this wasn't working.
But that for me it was.
Then it was all right in the end.
For me it felt that also, but then still I had, for me, a question on the thank you, because it was a relief, and for me at the same time it could also be okay. I give a thank you because of I cannot. It's not what you wanted me to do, because it didn't fit here. But okay, at least I'm happy with it. I give you this sign. But I give you this sign. But is this true? Because you felt really bad to not be able to.
Like she wants to satisfy satisfied that person.
Yeah.
Was really good.
Yeah. And at the same time yourself, okay, I have to.
Now I've got to walk around with a bracelet in my ear.
Yeah, also that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I know. You want to show you?
No, I didn't. I made my show.
Okay. You did. Okay. Which were the steps? No. Just to tell you, these steps. It's very simple, and of course it's not. But it's good to understand when we observe something, to see that there is an it evaluates and it situations can be dramatic just by. Something happens and it gives another feeling. It changes the situation, and I think this is the main goal of making something understandable to others, to a public. This I think is for me the way to work on how to make a play. In little situations and going from one situation associative to other ones, but if we don't give this kind of clues, it can be nice to look at it and poetic or something, but sometimes you can see it also in a performance that after 5 minutes they are like this because they don't connect anymore. Yeah? And then when sometimes changes something into a different kind of situation, then suddenly everybody's there. The emotion also, well, like we saw with the watch, or like we saw with the little star you gave, or like we saw, you gave it another shape, or like we saw he took the chair, then we are surprised, and so the focus is back again on that way. And I think this is interesting to watch also when we will see we will go to the shows to watch how they manage to get into in different situations and still try to tell a story. What is a story? This is also another thing, and I think for the very young ones, like I said, they much easier make themselves the story because they take something out and they are stick on that, or they are losing the rest of the part. So they make their own stories, but giving them the opportunity to do that or to go from one point to the other point is very important. And I think this is also something to learn, that like I said, we try to control everything and to already think at the end of the show or the beginning, and to make the connection on that, while they have to go step by step by step by step. And I think this is also a very important thing for me. These very young children, they are really good in dialogue, in that way that they are really observing and watching and waiting till you are finished, and then maybe they will answer. We are already thinking, what am I going to thinking out of that and trying to answer to the conversation. They're not, they are just waiting. And it is because I think in the mindset, I'm always talking, even if it's about movement, I'm talking about pictures. Because they have to, you make a picture, if you want to tell something, you make the picture, they see something, what is this? I never seen it before, this object or this situation. What is this? Is this something for me? Can I place it somewhere, and can I connect it with something else? And then, after that, can I answer it? Can I give a connection back? Can I laugh off it? Can I be sad on it? So it takes time. So they go from one to another, to another, to another, while we try to put all these things together. as adults, because we are already quicker. We need our space here. They have space enough to put it somewhere.